Mars, a world that has captured the imagination of humankind for centuries. Every night, it glows faintly in the sky, a reddish dot among a sea of stars. Ancient astronomers looked up and named it the god of war, inspired by its fiery hue. Today, even with modern science and robotic explorers roaming its surface, one question still fascinates us. Why is Mars red? At first glance, the answer might sound simple. It's rusty. But behind that simple idea lies one of the most remarkable stories in planetary history, a story of chemistry, atmosphere, water, and time itself. To understand the red planet, we must go back billions of years to when Mars was young, a world that may not have looked red at all. Long ago, Mars was warmer and wetter than it is today. Evidence from orbiters and rovers show ancient river valleys, lake beds, and mineral traces that only form in liquid water. Imagine a planet with blue skies, clouds drifting above mountains, and rivers running through vast plains. It wasn't Earth, but it wasn't the dry desert we know either. And that's where the story of its color begins. You see, Mars is filled with iron. When the planet first formed, volcanoes erupted endlessly, spewing lava rich in iron minerals across the surface. Back then, Mars had a thicker atmosphere, possibly rich in carbon dioxide and a touch of oxygen. As water flowed across those iron-laden rocks, something began to happen: oxidation. The same process that turns a piece of iron brownish red on Earth started coating Mars in rust. Each drop of ancient rain helped transform the ground little by little. Over millions of years, a dusty layer of iron oxide built up across the planet's crust. When the atmosphere thinned and the water vanished, that rust remained, a fossil memory of a world that once had life's essential ingredient: water. If you were standing on Mars today, the color around you wouldn't be bright red. It would look more like a mix of orange, brown, and dusty gold. But when sunlight hits that fine iron-rich dust, it scatters in a way that makes the planet appear red from afar. It's not just the soil, it's also the thin, dry atmosphere that enhances the effect. Tiny dust particles hang suspended for weeks or even months, reflecting sunlight and giving the entire planet that warm copper tone. In space, Mars glows like an ember in the darkness. This constant haze of dust has another story to tell. Every few years, powerful storms rise across the planet, sometimes growing so massive they cover the entire globe. Winds whip through valleys and craters, lifting fine grains of iron oxide into the air. From orbit, Mars becomes a swirling red marble, alive with motion even in its silence. When the storms settle, that dust coats everything: solar panels, rocks, even the robotic explorers sent from Earth. The planet constantly repaints itself with its own rust. But why does Mars have so much iron in the first place? It comes down to its birth. Mars formed from the same cosmic material as Earth, the remnants of exploding stars filled with metals and minerals. Yet Mars is smaller, with weaker gravity and a thinner core. Early in its history, it couldn't hold on to its internal heat. Without that energy, volcanic activity slowed, its magnetic field faded, and its atmosphere escaped into space. With no thick air to protect it, surface rocks reacted directly with what little oxygen remained, cementing that red hue into the planet's identity. Ironically, that same color that once inspired fear and war on Earth, the color of blood and battle, now inspires scientists and dreamers. To the ancients, Mars was a symbol of conflict. To us, it's a symbol of curiosity and possibility. We no longer see it as the home of angry gods, but as a place that might reveal how planets live and die. When NASA's rovers like Curiosity, Perseverance, and before them Spirit and Opportunity touched down on the Martian surface, they found more than just red dust. They found the story of transformation. Rocks carved by flowing water, minerals like hematite that only form in liquid conditions, and layers of sediment that whisper of ancient lakes, all of them painted in shades of rust, a reminder that Mars was once active, maybe even habitable. And yet, there's something poetic about its color. Red is the color of both life and decay. On Earth, it's the color of our blood, the pulse that keeps us alive. On Mars, it's the color of oxidation, of a planet that once had potential, now frozen and silent, its surface sealed under a coat of rust. It's as if the planet itself holds its history in plain sight. Its color is its confession. But don't let the red fool you. Mars isn't uniform. Look closer and you'll see darker basaltic plains, gray volcanic mountains, and even white polar ice caps. These variations reveal that the red you see is only skin deep. Beneath the surface, Mars is full of diversity. The top few centimeters are dust, but dig deeper and the colors shift to grays, blacks, and blues. That's where future missions will search for organic compounds, hidden clues to whether life once existed there billions of years ago. The red may be what draws our eyes, but it's the story behind that color that draws our hearts. Because in the end, Mars's rust is more than chemistry. It's a chronicle of time. It's what happens when a living world loses its breath. The air thins, the water fades, and what remains is a planet forever blushing from the memory of what it once was. Today, scientists are still studying how much of that iron oxide formed with water and how much from dry processes, trying to piece together the puzzle of its lost oceans. Every new rover, every sample collected is another clue. And who knows, someday humans might walk there themselves, kicking up that same red dust and adding new footprints to the story of Mars. So the next time you look up and see that faint red spark in the night sky, remember this: the color you see is more than just light bouncing off rock. It's billions of years of history, a planet rusted by time and transformed by forces both gentle and violent. Mars isn't just red because of iron, it's red because it's alive in memory. That's why we call it the red planet, not because it burns, but because it remembers. Like, share, and subscribe to WiseUse, where the universe becomes more than science. It becomes a story worth listening to.